She was jailed for stealing diapers. What happened next shocked everyone. Danielle Rivera, 27, wakes in total darkness. The power has been shut off. Her baby Amari cries in the cold. Her daughter Ariel, 5, wakes up coughing. Danielle lights a candle, wraps the baby in her hoodie. She opens the fridge, gives empty, not even water. She opens her journal, reads an old entry. You can't mother on empty, but you have to, because no one else will. She hears banging on the wall, the landlord again. You're 3 weeks behind, Danielle. Her eyes close in defeat. Social services office, no food stamps, no aid, no emergency care. Ariel tugs her hand. Mama, what if we run out of hugs too? Danielle cries silently. Neighborhood grocery store. A $2 bottle of baby formula, a pacifier. She puts the pacifier and wipes into her basket, and slides the diapers under her coat. Just before the doors open, Mom, step aside. The security guard finds the diapers. A crowd gathers. Then, a flash, a phone recording her face. The shame hits first. I didn't do it for me. Please, my baby's cold. Police arrive. They cuff her. Store parking lot at night. A patrol car lights flash. Danielle is bent over the hood, crying. Suddenly, a child's scream. Ariel had followed her. Don't take my mommy. She didn't mean to. Danielle screams. Get her away from this. She's just a child. An officer pulls Ariel aside. Cold. Robotic. The officer whispers, we see this all the time. A bystander records everything. Holding cell E midnight. Danielle sits on a concrete bench. No food. No water. Her wrists are red. Meanwhile, online, several social networks explodes. Mom arrested for stealing diapers in front of her child. 7.4 meters views. Hashtag justice for Danielle. Hashtag shame on us. Some support her. Others troll her. Don't have kids if you can't take care of them. She's a thief. Period. No one visits Danielle. No call. No bond. The system waits to process her like paperwork. Flashback sequence. Various locations. Danielle at 16, working at a gas station. At 20, being evicted while holding Ariel as a baby. At 23, her fiancé leaves after her second pregnancy test. At 25, sleeping in a shelter. Ariel shivering. Amari in a car seat. You can't understand her arrest until you've seen what the world took from her first. Courtroom, 8:15 a.m. Danielle sits, pale and shaking. Her assigned public defender, Nina Alvarez, flips through the paperwork. The prosecution is relentless. Your Honor, theft is theft. Nina stands. Your Honor, with respect, what Danielle stole were diapers. What society stole was her right to be seen. The judge isn't moved until Nina reads a journal entry Danielle secretly wrote in jail. I don't want forgiveness. I want to feel human again. Silence. A woman in the room stands. Alyssa Graham, 42, a mother and business owner, stands in the back. Your Honor, I know that pain. I grew up in it. I escaped it. She didn't get lucky. I'd like to offer her a job, and pay her court fine, and cover her first month's rent. Even the prosecutor is stunned. The judge nods. Case dismissed. Record sealed. Ms. Rivera, you are free to go. Danielle collapses in gratitude. Danielle's new apartment night. Danielle tucks Ariel in. She opens the journal again and writes. One act of compassion broke the curse. She includes a letter addressed to the girl like me, to be read at a future nonprofit event. Fundraising gala. 1 year later, big stage. Danielle reads her letter aloud to hundreds. I was once a mother in a jail cell for diapers. Now I run a center that gives them away for free. My pain had a purpose, and it became your protection. Tears flood the audience. Alyssa hugs her. Reporters flood the room. Grocery store. 1 year to the day. Danielle walks past the same store. She's wearing a company badge. Her kids laugh beside her. A mother steps out of the store in tears. She couldn't pay. Danielle walks over, hands her $20. I know what that feels like. You're not alone. The mother cries. She didn't steal to survive. She stole because the world left her no room to ask. She didn't go viral to be famous. She went viral because the truth is contagious. Sometimes justice doesn't wear a robe. Sometimes it looks like a woman saying, "You're not alone."
She took her child and ran. What happened next will break you. Her name is Naomi Ellis. She was 27 the night she disappeared. Not from the news, not from social media, from a marriage that was quietly killing her, from a man everyone thought was perfect, and from a home that looked whole but was full of shattered glass. This is the story of how she ran, and what the world did to her afterward. The house that held her. Naomi met Eric Ellis at 21. He was charming, kind, a financial advisor. Stable. She was finishing college, studying education, dreaming of a future. They married a year later. For a while, it was good, until Eric began correcting her at dinner parties. "Let me do the talking. Naomi, don't embarrass yourself in front of friends. You're lucky I'm patient." When she got pregnant, the real change began. He controlled what she wore, tracked her location, mocked her family. The isolation came slowly. One by one her friends stopped calling. She never noticed until it was just her, Eric, and baby Jaden. The beginning of the end. The first time he hit her, Jaden was 2. It wasn't a punch. It was a shove, hard enough for her to fall and crack her lip on the bathroom sink. Eric apologized, bought her flowers, said, "You made me feel like the bad guy." She forgave him. Then it happened again and again, but always where clothes would hide it. One night, Naomi looked in the mirror and didn't. She whispered, "I'm still alive, but I'm not living." That night, Eric threw her phone against the wall. Jaden screamed. Naomi scooped him up and ran. The escape was 3:11 a.m. She had no plan, no car, just her baby, one bag, and a stranger's name she remembered from years ago. A woman named Maya, who had once said, "If you ever need help, really need help, find me." Maya opened her door without questions. Naomi cried for 4 hours straight. The next day, she filed for a restraining order, but Eric beat her to court. He claimed she had abducted their son, said she was emotionally unstable, violent, and on medication for depression. The system isn't built for her. Naomi didn't have a lawyer. Eric had a whole legal team. In court, she trembled. He smiled. The judge gave shared custody. No background check. No home visit. No trauma inquiry. Jaden cried every time he was dropped off. Then came the worst moment. One evening, Jaden came home with a bruise on his arm. He said, "Daddy pushed me. I spilled juice." Naomi called Child Protective Services. Their response? "This doesn't meet the threshold of abuse." When mother's break bills mounted, Naomi lost her job. She'd missed too many days for court dates. She pawned her wedding ring to pay rent, then her TV, then her car. Eventually, she and Jaden moved into a women's shelter. She cried herself to sleep every night. Jaden, age 4, whispered, "It's okay, Mommy. One day I'll buy us a big house." Those words broke her. She got up the next day and went to work. The woman WHO stood beside her. Naomi began working at a diner. Minimum wage. "If you need a lawyer, I work pro bono for women escaping abuse." That note changed Naomi's life. Angela took the case, subpoenaed her records, got therapy notes, interviewed the shelter staff, tracked down Maya, and most importantly, Angela found an old voicemail Eric left by mistake. A 9-minute recording of him screaming, "If you ever leave me again, I swear you'll regret it. You'll never see your son." It would become the nail in his coffin. The courtroom wore. This time Naomi came prepared. Angela did the talking. Naomi did the standing. The judge listened to the recording, listened to Jaden's psychologist testify, listened to the timeline of bruises, fear, and silence. And then, for the first time, listened to Naomi. She stood and said, "I never wanted to destroy him. I just wanted to stop being destroyed." Silence. The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Ellis, your parenting rights are terminated until further notice. Miss Ellis, full custody granted." Court sealed. Case closed. Naomi sobbed. Angela held her hand. Jaden ran into her arms. The Rizzion year later, Naomi runs the Safe Mother Project, a nonprofit that provides housing and legal support for women fleeing abuse. She now speaks at conferences, was featured in a national article, helped pass a new domestic violence bill in her state. Jaden is now in school, loves drawing superheroes. He says, "My mommy is the strongest woman in the world." And he's right. Full circle, Nehemiah walks past the old courthouse. She sees a woman outside, crying, holding a baby. She walks over, hands her a card. "This helped me when I had nothing. You're not alone." The woman hugs her. Naomi turns away, smiling. Powerful, free. Naomi didn't run to destroy. She ran to survive. She didn't raise her voice to attack. She raised it to be heard. And when the world failed her, one woman stood up. And because of that, Naomi can now stand for others.
The girl who refused to speak, a courtroom twist. No one saw coming. They say silence speaks volumes. But in a courtroom, silence can be used as a weapon. A gloomy courthouse. Reporters shouting. Flashing camera lights. We hear murmurs. People whispering. That's the girl from the fire. She hasn't spoken once. A teenage girl, pale, in handcuffs, is escorted past the press. She doesn't cry, doesn't look up. Her name is Alyssa Gray, 17, foster child, now defendant, charged with the murder of her foster father, Gregory Gray. She hasn't spoken since the fire that killed him. Not to the police, not to her lawyer, not to the court. The only thing she held onto when the firefighters pulled her from the blaze was her sketchbook. Gregory Gray, CEO, known philanthropist, community man, found in the master bedroom, burned beyond recognition. She was the only one in the house. Prosecutor, slick and articulate, she repaid love with fire, and silence with guilt. Klein, her overworked public defender, pleads with her, "Just tell me what happened that night." Even a sentence. She keeps her eyes fixed on the floor. Outside the courthouse, chaos. Protesters chant. Signs wave. Justice for Gregory. She did it. Media reel spin conspiracy theories. She had motive. She was troubled. Just look at her drawings. On social media, clips from her art surface. Dark images. Charcoal sketches of screaming figures, flames. The judge calls her name, Alyssa Gray. "You are charged with first-degree murder. How do you plead?" She doesn't answer, not a word. But maybe the real question wasn't what she did, but what was done to her. Flashbacks. Gregory smiling in public, grim behind closed doors. A photo of Alyssa smiling awkwardly in front of the same house that would later burn. Day 2. Cameras click. Spectators pack the seats. The prosecution is ready. They display Alyssa's journal. A quote. "Maybe if the house burns, they'll finally hear me." Prosecutor, she drew her confession before she acted on it. They bring in witnesses. Neighbor, she was odd. Would sit by the window for hours. Former teacher, she was bright, but emotionally distant. Once wrote a story about a girl who vanished in flames. Gregory's sister, he tried everything. She just never wanted to be part of our family. The prosecutor presents a store receipt. A lighter, a notebook, and charcoal pencils, all bought 2 days before the fire. Then, a voice plays in court. 911 call. Female found outside. Smoke inhalation. Minor burns. No other survivors. Klein stands. Shaken, but determined. He looks at Alyssa. Anything. One truth. One drawing. Something only you know. She looks at him for the first time, then down. Still silent. Judge offers her the chance to speak. The courtroom stills. She says nothing. Camera closes in. The sketchbook is open beside her. On one torn page, hidden in the shading of a drawing, the word, locked. That night, Klein sits alone. Everyone else has gone home. He flips through her drawings again, this time with new eyes. He sees a recurring image, a door with multiple locks, always closed, sometimes burning. Then he notices a pattern, initials in the corner of 3 drawings. Ant. He makes a call. Detective Alvarez, now retired, who was first on scene at the Gray Fire, Marcos Torres. Station 14. You remember him? He was the one who found her. Courtroom the next day. Packed. Klein, Your Honor. The defense calls an emergency witness. Prosecutor objects. The judge allows it. In walks Marcos Torres, a seasoned firefighter, calm, direct. He takes the stand. Torres, when I arrived, she was breaking a window, trying to get back inside, gasps in the courtroom. I pulled her out. She fought me. She was screaming. He locked the door. He locked the door, over and over. Alyssa looks up. Her eyes meet his. There's a spark, recognition, gratitude. Klein places a thick file on the bench. Child Protective Services records. Sealed until now. She reported Gregory for abuse 3 times. Each time dismissed. Buried. She wasn't violent. She was trapped. The courtroom goes silent. The judge looks to Alyssa. Miss Gray, would you like to say something? She stands slowly. She opens her mouth. And for the first time in nearly a year, she speaks. Soft. Raw. Honest. He locked me in. Every time I said something he didn't like. Every time I cried, begged, or asked to call someone. The night of the fire, I wanted to stay warm. He found out. He got mad. Locked the door. Walked away. I smelled smoke. I screamed. I thought it was my fault. So I went back in. Her voice shakes, but she finishes. I never wanted him to die. People cry. The media stuns. The prosecutor looks pale. Klein addresses the jury. This isn't a case about fire. It's about what we do when someone pleads for help, and no one listens. Outside, crowds shift. Protest signs lower. New ones rise. Bolivia Alyssa Silent Namarish turns to Klein, whispers, "Thank you," and she smiles. Final day. Anticipation builds. The jury enters. Judge, will the defendant rise? Alyssa stands tall. Foreperson on the charge of first-degree murder. Not guilty. Tears. Shock. Relief. Klein leans over. You're free, Alyssa. She closes her eyes. Breathes. The judge. I hope you find peace. And may your voice be heard now. Outside. Cameras flash. Reporters beg for a word. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. A girl in the crowd holds a sketch. A house. A girl. An open door. Words written in red. We hear you now. 1 year later, Alyssa stands in front of a room full of kids. They sit with crayons and charcoal. No one speaks. They don't have to. Her program is called Silent Voices. She kneels beside a trembling girl, hands her a pencil. You don't have to talk. Just draw until you're ready. That night, a letter arrives. I'm proud of you. Signed, her birth mother. Alyssa paints on a wall. She writes the words in black strokes. Silence is not guilt. Some stories begin when the courtroom clears. Some truths only emerge when someone dares to speak. Next time someone stays silent, don't judge. Just listen.
A vow in the fire. When life set their marriage on fire, they could have walked away. But instead, they chose to walk through it together. This is the true story of Eden and Malik, a young couple whose love was tested by betrayal, miscarriage, and financial collapse, but who discovered that real love is not found in comfort, but in commitment. What if the real test of love isn't the wedding, but the fire that follows? A Vow in the Fire is a deeply moving real-life story that follows the heart-wrenching, yet redemptive journey of Eden and Malika, young couple whose marriage begins in joy, but is soon tested by loss, betrayal, and silence. When miscarriage shatters their dream of parenthood and financial hardship strikes, their once blissful connection begins to crack. Malik, broken and ashamed, shuts down. Eden, grieving and alone, begins to question everything. Words turn to wounds. Trust fades. And when infidelity threatens their fragile bond, one walks out tanned, the other breaks down. But when the fire seems to consume everything, they are forced to choose: walk away forever, or fight to rebuild from the ashes. Through vulnerability, grace, and 1,000 small steps, A Vow in the Fire tells a story not of perfect love, but of chosen love that stays, forgives, heals, and inspires others to do the same. Because real love doesn't run from the fire. It walks through it together. The bliss. First morning as husband and wife. Small but cozy bedroom. Morning sunlight seeps through sheer curtains. Eden wakes up first. She stares at Malik peacefully asleep. She touches his face gently, then leans in and whispers, "Eden, we're married." Like really married? He smiles sleepily, pulls her close. Malik teasing, "So you're saying I'm stuck with you, Eden? Forever." Malik good. Because forever just got better. The first apartment. Small city apartment. Mismatched furniture, DIY art on the walls. Full of life. They paint a wall together. Eden gets paint on Malik's nose. Malik burns the first dinner. Smoke detector goes off. They laugh, eating takeout on the floor with candles. They argue lightly about where to put the couch, then give up and dance in the living room. Eden, this place doesn't look like much. Malik, but it already feels like home. Sunday mornings and shared dreams. Coffee shop. Later, a park bench under autumn leaves. They sip coffee. Eden doodles future baby names in her journal. Malik shows her a budget spreadsheet. They talk about dreams, starting a business, having 2 kids, traveling to Ghana. Eden, I want a daughter who talks too much, and a son who sings off key. Malik and I want a wife who still kisses me when we're old and wrinkled. Eden deal. Inside jokes and intimacy. Whispering inside jokes at a family dinner, trying not to laugh. Slow dancing in the kitchen in pajamas. Brushing teeth side by side, bumping elbows, laughing. Eden wearing his hoodie. Malik braiding her hair clumsily. Eden, we didn't have it all, but we had each other. And in those early days, that was enough. The vow, rewind. Eden's father wiping a tear. Malik's mother holding her chest, emotionally. The moment they say I do, slow motion shot of the kiss, confetti in the air. Malik, we promised forever, with trembling voices, not knowing what forever would demand. A bill from the hospital lies on the kitchen table. Malik stares at his phone. We regret to inform you. Eden in the bathroom, looking at a pregnancy test. Love was easy when everything was beautiful. But what happens when beauty breaks? The beginning of love's testing phase. Apartment kitchen. Malik enters quietly, holding a pink hospital envelope. Eden is curled on the couch and sweats, barely acknowledging him. He sets the envelope on the counter and begins doing the dishes wordlessly. Eden low voice. They said everything was okay. Until it wasn't. Malik, they didn't have answers. Eden, but we lost a heartbeat. Long silence. Eden, I feel broken. Malik whispers. Me too. The job loss, Malik's workplace, then apartment. Malik clears out his desk, turns in a badge. He stares at a family photo on the desk, fighting back tears. Back home, he hides the news from Eden. He continues to leave each morning, pretending he still works. Malik, oh, she already had so much pain. I couldn't add mine to the pile. Apartment bedroom. Eden stares at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Malik lies beside her, eyes open, backs turned to each other. Later, they sit at the same table, eating in silence. Eden opens a bill. Eden, you said you paid this, Malik? Eden, when Malik Tenza said I will. She gets up. The silence screams louder than words. Eden stops journaling. Malik leaves earlier, returns later. She cries while folding baby clothes that were meant for a future that's now vanished. Malik stands in the shower, hands on the wall, sobbing. Eden, we were married, but more alone than ever before. Temptation and betrayal. Malik alone at a bar. Malik scrolls through old college contacts. A message appears. Hey stranger, you still look good. He hesitates, then replies. You too. Hope you're well. Eden, later, sees the message thread while charging his phone. Her hands tremble. She walks into the hallway and screams into a pillow. The confrontation. Apartment, living room, dimly lit. Eden throws the phone onto the coffee table. Malik walks in, sees it. Eden quiet rage. You broke something I was still fighting for. Malik, it wasn't an affair. Eden, it was a door you unlocked. And it slammed in my face. Malik, I don't even recognize us anymore. Eden tears. Maybe you never really knew me to begin with. The walkout. Malik packs a bag. Eden watches but says nothing. He stands at the door. Malik, I don't know how to fix this. Eden voice cracking. Then go figure it out. Door closes slowly. Silence. Eden collapses onto the floor, hugging her knees. Malik sits in his car, head on the steering wheel, crying. Sometimes, love shatters not with screams, but with silence. The silent apartment, their apartment, now colder and quieter. Empty coffee mugs. Piles of unpaid bills. Eden sits alone at the kitchen table, staring at her wedding ring. Her miscarriage flood her mind. Doctor's words. Hospital bed. Malik crying silently beside her. Eden, he left. But truthfully, he had been leaving long before his suitcase followed. A small guest room at his cousin's house. Malik lies on a mattress on the floor. He scrolls through photos of Eden. Their wedding? Her smile. He types a message. I miss you. But he never sends it. Phone rings. His cousin enters. Cousin, you look like a ghost. Man, you need to fix this. Malik, I don't know if I still can. Eden seeks help. Community center. Support group room. Eden sits among other women. She's nervous but speaks. Eden, I thought love was enough. I thought if I gave my all, he'd never walk away. The counselor nods. Counselor, love is a seed, but without care, it dies even in good soil. Eden crying, then breathing deeply. First flickers of strength returning to her posture. Malik's visit to his father. His estranged father's small house. Awkward silence at first. Malik asks, Malik, why did you leave Mom? Father, because I didn't want to feel weak. I thought walking away was strength. Malik, was it? Father, no. It was the easiest failure of my life. Powerful moment. Malik tears up. His father reaches across the table. No words. Just understanding. Breaking down. Alone. Eden's apartment. Nighttime. Eden listens to a voicemail from Malik. Malik voice trembling. I didn't fight for us the way I should have. I didn't hold on when the storm hit. But not a day has passed that I haven't wished I had. She cries but doesn't call back. Hitting rock bottom. Malik's car, parked outside the apartment. Malik sits behind the wheel in the pouring rain. He rehearses words aloud. Malik, I failed. But I still choose you. Even broken. Even late, I choose you. He finally gets out, stands outside her door, soaked, shivering. The door doesn't open yet. Just her hand on the knob. His shadow waiting outside. Fade to black. Eden, sometimes, the breaking is not the end. It's just the silence before the rebuilding begins. The standstill. Inside Eden's apartment. Door still shut. Eden stands with her hand on the doorknob. Malik waits outside in the cold rain, holding nothing but himself. She opens the door slowly. They lock eyes. No words. Moment she steps aside. He enters, dripping wet, unsure of what to do. She hands him a towel, silently. He wipes his face, then speaks. Malik voice low. I have no excuse. Only a confession. I ran when I should have stood still. I shut you out when you needed me the most. Pause. But I'm here now. And I want to rebuild. With you. Kitchen table. They sit opposite each other, a single candle between them. It's not romantic. It's raw. Eden, do you think one apology can fix months of silence? Malik, no. But maybe a lifetime of choosing you can. Eden, I don't trust you yet. Malik, then I'll earn it day by day. Tear by tear. She doesn't smile. But she doesn't walk away either. Malik joins her in counseling sessions. He makes breakfast. They sit on the floor with bills and notebooks, rebuilding their finances. Malik writes her daily notes on the mirror. Still choosing you. They go for a walk, not holding hands, but walking side by side again. Eden, healing wasn't a single moment. It was 1,000 little choices to stay, to breathe, to try. Community center. Malik stands nervously before a small audience, sharing their story at a relationship workshop. Eden watches from the back, arms folded. Malik to crowd. There was a time I almost let go of the best thing I'd ever been given. Because I thought love had to be easy to be real. But love doesn't prove itself in sunshine. It proves itself in the fire. Eden's eyes glisten. He catches her gaze. She nods, ever so slightly. The slow reconnection. Apartment balcony at sunset. Eden and Malik sit together, a blanket around them. He places her hand in his, carefully, gently. She lets him. Eden, I don't know what tomorrow looks like. Malik, we'll face it. Together, as long as you'll let me keep choosing you. Eden opens her journal again. Malik tucks her into bed, kisses her forehead. A family photo sits on the table, not perfect, but whole. Eden, we didn't fall back in love. We walked back, one step at a time. And that was the real miracle. 1 year later, morning in their modest sunlit apartment. Eden stands in the kitchen, making breakfast baby toys on the floor. Morning light streaming in. Malik enters, holding a smiling baby girl. He kisses Eden's cheek. They exchange a quiet, knowing smile. Eden, we didn't go back to what we were. We built something new. Stronger. Real. Community center. Eden leads a support group for women who've experienced loss or relationship betrayal. She listens attentively, offering wisdom with soft strength. Malik volunteers in a mentorship program for young men. Malik to group. The fire doesn't have to destroy everything. Sometimes, it burns away what was false. So you can finally see what's real. The speaking event. University auditorium. Eden and Malik sit on a panel, invited to speak about marriage, forgiveness, and resilience. Students listen, emotional and inspired. Malik, we came through pain, but not as victims. We chose love again when it was hardest. And that choice changed everything. Eden, we don't tell this story because it's perfect. We tell it because it's true. Audience applauds. Some are in tears. Malik rocks their baby to sleep. Eden watches, her hand over her heart. Grateful tears forming. Eden, he chose me when I was angry. I chose him when I was afraid. That's what love is. It doesn't run, it stays. Beach at sunset. Eden and Malik walk hand in hand, barefoot carrying their baby in a wrap. Malik, do you regret anything, Eden? Just one thing. Pause. Eden smiles. That I ever doubted what we could survive. Malik then, let's never stop surviving. Together? A journal lies open on their kitchen table. The final page reads, handwritten by Eden. We didn't just survive the fire, we learned to dance in its light, Eden. Real love doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes, it bleeds. It breaks. But when it heals, it glows brighter than before. We are living proof that broken things, in the right hands, can become beautiful again. The anatomy of courage. Sometimes, the moments that break you are the same ones that make you. The autumn wind howls across the university campus. Golden leaves whip across Emma's path as she sprints toward Anatomy 30. Each footstep pounds like a war drum against her chest. Dad, soft, raspy, listen close, kiddo. The heart always tells the truth, even when the world lies. Emma bursts through the lecture hall doors. Dr. Kane's voice slices the air like a blade. Dr. Kane stern, cutting. Miss Carter, care to explain why the brachial plexus deserves more attention than your punctuality? Emma's phone buzzes. The text glows like a brand against her soul. He's refusing treatment. Come home tonight? And still, Emma stands tall. Emma voice shaking, but strong. No excuse, sir. Only one set of eyes. Doesn't mock. Aiden. Watching. Waiting. Outside, rain pelts the pavement. Emma clutches a crumpled lab report. A bright red 62%. Her dreams bleeding out in ink. Jasmine desperate, pleading. You're burning out, Em. You can't save him if you destroy yourself. Emma breaking whisper. What choice do I have? Suddenly, footsteps approaching in rain. Aiden appears, awkward, umbrella dripping. Aiden gentle, almost whispering. He looks like a fighter. Emma tearing up, stubborn. He is. Night drive. Blinding rain. Emma's hands choke the steering wheel. Dad's voice echoing in memory. When the road blurs, breathe. Trust the line. Deer headlights. A flash of fur. Emma's world shatters into spinning glass and rain. Sound of heavy breathing. No signal. No rescue. Just Emma, bleeding in the dark. Urgent hospital beeping, rapid drums. Campus clinic. For tubes, fluorescent lights. Emma rips free, staggering into the hallway. Jasmine catching her. Your mom called. He's in surgery. They need you now. Emma's legs buckle. Dr. Kane cold, commanding your exam. Your future. Choose. The clock ticks down. Each second is a heartbeat lost. Emma's car hydroplanes. A truck barrels toward her. Aiden's Van Blam collides with her car, shoving it off the road. Everything goes black. Emergency room lights. Pain. Flashing red warnings. A crumpled exam paper drops into Emma's lap. Dr. Kane low. Serious. Finish it. Or lose everything. Tears blur her vision. Her father's heartbeat echoes faintly from a monitor nearby. Emma grips the pen like a weapon. The monitor. Emma screaming no. Doctors flood the room. Chaos reigns. Dr. Kane blocks her. Dr. Kane grim whisper. You can't save him by running. Fight with your mind, not your panic. Emma scratches her last answer onto the soaked paper. Written in lipstick, in blood, in tears. Save the life, not the ledger. Hours later, surgeon smiling faintly. He made it, against all odds. Emma collapses into Aiden's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Outside, a candlelight vigil burns, classmates raising lights into the night sky. Stand with Emma trends worldwide. Donations pour in. A hospital wing is renamed. The Anatomy of Courage mural glows, woven with real-time heartbeats. Years later, Emma, Dr. Carter now, runs toward the ER, her father's old stethoscope bouncing on her chest. She saves lives. She teaches students. She carries every scar and every heartbeat. Courage isn't in never falling. It's in rising, again and again, for the ones you love. Graduation day, bright sun, families cheering, balloons float in the air. A university courtyard filled with beaming graduates in gowns and caps. Adana stands still in the middle of it all, her hands gripping her diploma so tightly her knuckles turn white. Her mother, wearing a faded but iron dress, claps proudly from the crowd. Her little brother waves frantically. Mother, joyful, teary. My daughter, you've made us proud. I told your father you'd shine. Zooms in on Adana's smiling face. But there's something behind the smile. A flicker of uncertainty, of quiet fear. On that day she felt the weight of every sacrifice. The sleepless nights, the hunger, the missed outings. She had climbed the mountain. But what waited on the other side was no promised land. Fade into her bedroom. One small fan rotates loudly. Her graduation gown hangs on the wall like a trophy collecting dust. Her certificate is rolled and tied with ribbon on a plastic table. Her phone screen lights up. Job interview. Monday 9 a.m. Her alarm is set for 4:30 a.m. She kneels beside her bed and prays silently, hands trembling. Adana whispered prayer. Lord, I don't want luxury. Just a place to work, a place to grow. Please open one door. Adana walks miles through the early morning streets, dusty shoes and folder in hand. She enters office after office. HR officers barely look at her. Receptionists say, leave your CV, we'll call. They said she needed experience, but no one would give her a chance to get it. She smiled. She waited. She hoped. Until the waiting turned into begging. At home, her mother places 2 small portions of rice and stew on the table. She waits with a tired smile. Mother, any news today? Adana forcing cheer. They said they'll reach out. I think it went well. Her voice cracks slightly. She hides it by chewing. Adana in her room later that night, staring at her wall. She slowly takes off her wig, wipes her face, and opens her laptop to apply for more jobs. Her phone rings at midnight. Unknown number. She answers in a heartbeat. Voice on the phone. Hello. We reviewed your application. Come for an interview tomorrow, 9 a.m. Office address is in the message. Be on time. Adana jumps from her bed, pacing the room, excitement rising like a flame. Adana to herself. This one is different. This one will work. She lays out her best outfit, washed and ironed twice already. She places her certificate on the table, dusts her shoes, sets 3 alarms. As she turns off the light, her voice is heard in voiceover, full of hope and prayer. Adana, let this be it. Just one yes, Lord. Just one. Early morning mist. Adana wakes before the alarm. She carefully applies light makeup, pins her name tag, and gently folds her certificate into a protective sleeve. She checks her bag twice. Her mother hands her a small wrap of akara and bread. Mother hopeful, tired, eat something. You'll need your strength today. Adana smiles faintly. Today's the day, Mama. I can feel it. A tall silver building with mirrored windows, clean lobby, polished tiles. Security guards nod professionally as she enters. Adana presses her palms together nervously as she walks into the HR floor. A receptionist smiles without looking up. Receptionist, take a seat. He'll be with you shortly. She waits nearly 40 minutes, legs bouncing, practicing answers silently. Finally, a man walks out, sharply dressed, mid-40s, smooth voice, man grinning. Miss Adana Moreo. Adana standing. Yes, sir, man. Come in, come in. I've been looking forward to this. The office is quiet. Too quiet. He gestures to a leather chair. Offers her juice. She declines. Man reviewing her CV. First class. Top of your department. Your lecturers must have been proud. Adana nervously. Yes, sir. I worked hard for it. Man sipping his drink. And now, you're here. With all this potential, beat? He leans forward. Man, lower tone, you know Adana. We see a lot of graduates, but not many with your look, charisma, spirit. Adana shifts uncomfortably in her seat. Man calm, deliberate. Let me be honest with you. You want a job. I can make that happen today. Right now. He puts the file down, looks her dead in the eyes. Man, but in return, I need something too. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Adana, barely audible. I don't understand, sir. Man smiling wider. You're smart. Don't pretend you don't. Everyone in this building plays the game. He stands and walks to the door. Click. He locks it. Turns slowly. Man coldly. I don't like when people waste my time. You know what to do. Or you can walk out and keep walking. In that moment, her mind screamed. Her mother's sacrifices. Her father's memory. Her sleepless nights. Everything balanced on a thin, filthy line. She stands. Straightens her shoulders. Eyes locked on him. Adana quiet but strong. I'd rather be jobless than soulless. She turns, unlocks the door herself, and walks out. In the lobby, the receptionist looks up, surprised at her pale face. Adana doesn't speak. She walks fast. Then runs, then breaks into full sobs the moment she hits the sidewalk. Back at home, Adana stares at her mirror. Still in her interview clothes. Her mother knocks gently. Mother softly. How did it go? Adana tears welling. They didn't pick me. Her mother hugs her. No more questions. She didn't know if she'd ever get another chance. But what she did know was that some victories are invisible, and some wars are won by walking away. Adana stands on her small balcony, holding her cracked phone. Her inbox is empty. She scrolls through job sites. Same listings, same rejections. She thought the worst was behind her. But rejection doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just echoes in silence. Electricity goes out. Her mother lights a kerosene lamp. Her little brother coughs in the next room. Her mom mixes Gorian water and hands it to her. Mother softly. We'll manage till the miracle comes. Adana stares at the food. She looks like she wants to scream, but doesn't. The call that feels like hope. Late night. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She stares, then answers. Caller, good evening. This is from UPT Holdings. We reviewed your application. Are you available for an interview tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.? Adana sitting upright. Yes. Yes, I'm available. Thank you so much. She Googles the company. Sleep. Reputable, big. She pulls her clothes from the bucket and irons under candlelight. Adana, this time, I won't mess it up. I'll shine. They'll see me, not just what I'm not willing to give. Adana walks into a glass skyscraper. Her reflection in the doors makes her pause. She smiles, nervous but hopeful. A receptionist greets her warmly. She's asked to wait in a modern conference room. She breathes deeply, adjusts her collar. The door opens. Female executive friendly, confident, Miss Moreo. Welcome. We've read your application. You're impressive. Adana relaxes, smiles. Finally, suddenly, the door opens again. A man enters. Her smile drops instantly. It's Mr. Kazim, the man who locked the door weeks ago. This time, he's wearing a different badge. Higher rank. The female executive nods to him. Meet our head of HR. He'll be continuing this session. Adana goes pale. She clutches her file tighter. Kazim mocking smile. What a surprise. Still chasing the dream, I see Adana stammering. You work here? Kazim leaning close. I don't just work here. I screen here, and I remember those who make things difficult. The female executive seems unaware. Kazim sits beside her, casually flipping through Adana's file. He speaks normally, but his eyes are menacing. Kazim, you're talented? But talent needs guidance. And in this world, loyalty matters more than qualifications. His foot brushes hers under the table. She freezes. He looks at her, challenging her. Speak, and you lose everything. Again, this wasn't an interview. It was déjà vu, but worse. Because this time, she couldn't run. Not without looking insane. She endures the rest of the interview, barely speaking, her eyes fixed downward. The executive thanks her and says they'll be in touch. As Adana stands to leave, Kazim slips her a note with a hotel name and time. Kazim softly, if you're serious this time, don't be late. Adana's hand crumples the paper before she even reaches the elevator. Outside, she runs into the alley behind the building. Her legs give out. She collapses against a wall. Heavy sobbing, snot, dirt on her skirt, her body curls into itself. Everyone has a limit, and Adana had finally found hers. Later that night, she stares at herself in the mirror, face swollen, eyes hollow. She slowly puts on her graduation cap, stares at it, takes a deep breath, then whispers, Adana, you didn't come this far to bow now. Midnight. Adana sits by a flickering kerosene lamp. Her mother and brother sleep on the other side of the room. Her eyes are red, but wide open. She holds two things, the hotel note from Kazim, her rejection letters. She stares at them both for a long moment, then strikes a match and burns the note. The flame rises. A symbol. Adana voiceover. Slow and steady. They want women to feel like choices are currency, but I won't sell mine, not even for survival. Unexpected invitation. The next morning her phone rings. Female executive on the phone. Miss Moreo, the board wants to meet with you again. Today, at noon. Mr. Kazim said you requested it. Adana freezes. She didn't request anything. He did. It's a trap. But this time, she smiles faintly. Adana calmly. I'll be there. The boardroom round 2. A high-rise boardroom. 11 executives seated around a glass table. The skyline of the city looms behind them. Adana stands at the center, alone. Kazim sits to the left of the chair, arms crossed, looking smug. Chairwoman, Miss Moreo, we've heard of your concerns, but this is a respected firm. Do you have evidence of anything improper? Adana pauses, breathes. No, not the kind that fits on paper. But I have the truth. And my voice? She speaks, her voice is low at first, but it grows steadier with every word. Adana, twice, I walked into interviews that became propositions. Twice, I was told my worth wasn't in what I knew, but what I would give, in silence and in shame. Some board members shift uncomfortably. Kazim glares. Adana, and when I stayed silent the first time, I felt like I failed myself. But this time, I'd rather be laughed out of every room in this city than earn a paycheck through fear. Her voice breaks, but she doesn't stop. Adana, I don't want a job anymore. I want justice. Because there are girls coming after me who will face this same thing, and they deserve better. Silence and shock. The room is silent. You could hear a pen drop. One of the younger board members looks stunned. The female executive's eyes well up. Kazim smirks. Kazim mocking. Anyone can cry and spin a story when they're desperate. Chairwoman interrupts coldly. That's enough, Kazim. The female executive stands. Executive firm. Actually, I believe her. Because I've seen the pattern. The late meetings. The offer court candidates. I said nothing before, but no more. Executive to Adana, you were never weak. You were just unprotected. Until now. She turns to the chairwoman. Executive, I motion for an internal ethics review, an immediate suspension of Mr. Kazim pending investigation. Gasps. Kazim goes pale. Chairwoman, motion accepted. Security, escort Mr. Kazim off the premises. As Kazim is taken out, Adana clutches her folder to her chest. Her hands are shaking. Her legs too. But her eyes, steady. The chairwoman turns to her. Chairwoman, gentle, we apologize, truly, and we'd like to offer you a role, one with purpose. She slides a document forward. Chairwoman, Associate Director, Ethical Hiring, Training and Development. Start date, next Monday. The walk home, Adana walks down the steps of the building. Same door, same sidewalk, but different woman. People pass by her. She smiles at one of them. Then suddenly she breaks into a sprint. She runs, barefoot, shoes in hand, straight home. Her mother opens the door. Adana collapses into her arms. Adana whispers, I didn't get the job I wanted. I got the one I was meant for. A bright Monday morning. A sleek black badge is clipped to Adana's new blazer. It reads Adana Moreo, Associate Director, Ethical Hiring. She walks through the lobby of the same building where she was once humiliated, this time with purpose in her stride and peace in her eyes. Staff who once ignored her, now nod respectfully. One junior staffer stops her. Young woman whispers, Miss Adana, I saw the video. Thank you for speaking up. You saved me too. Adana is stunned. She smiles gently and hugs her. Adana hosts workshops titled, Dignity First, Professionalism Without Pressure. A group of young female interns listen intently as she teaches about red flags, consent, power imbalances. She redesigns the company's recruitment process, anonymous scoring HR chaperones, grievance hotline protection clauses. She was no longer looking for a seat at the table. She was rebuilding the table, one where no woman had to trade her worth for a chance. The news spreads. Online article with headline, Young Graduate Sparks Hiring Revolution After Viral Speech. Her phone buzzes constantly. Messages from strangers. You gave me courage. I finally reported him. You don't know me, but I needed your story. Adana walks home one evening carrying a bag of groceries. She passes the alley she once collapsed in, stops, stares, slowly places her hand on the wall. Adana, this is where I broke. But it's also where I became unbreakable. She exhales and walks on, inspiring the next generation. Adana stands at a university auditorium, now speaking to a hall full of female final year students. Adana confidently, you will walk into rooms where the rules are wrong. But don't let anyone make you believe you must bend to be seen. If a door demands your dignity, it's not your door. Wait, knock on others, or build one yourself. The room erupts in applause. Her mother watches from the back, wiping tears with a handkerchief. A former secretary starts a podcast about workplace justice. A teenage girl quotes Adana in her graduation speech. A law student creates a legal fund for women facing exploitation. She didn't just get a job. She became a movement, not because she shouted, but because when they tried to silence her, she spoke anyway. At home, her mother stirs stew. Her little brother does homework at the table. The lights are on. The house is calm. Adana looks out the window, holding her ID badge in her hand. But this time, with gratitude, not desperation. She whispers to herself, Adana softly. This is what victory looks like. Integrity doesn't pay quickly. But when it pays in peace. Never sacrifice who you are for what you want. Because what's truly yours will never require you to lose yourself.